Alright, what's going on, y'all? Give me 1 second as I about to send this link out. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and send this link out. Alright, bet. So what's going on, everybody? Everybody hopping in. Make sure to hit that like button if it's your first time on the stream. Make sure to subscribe and check out my other videos after the live stream. So I'm looking at some potential setups right now. It is a lot of red folder action going on today, though. So we do have to be on the lookout for that. So we have to keep that in mind. I'm going to go over that in just a second. Let's see here. So we had the news that went on yesterday that really probably would have messed some people up. It helped some of our trades that we're in, and then also spiked some of the trades the opposite way we were going for. But after the correction at 2:30, after the 2 o'clock, everything shot back the other way. That's what happened with NAS. That's what happened with gold, especially. I was looking at gold, literally gold. If we go in the hour, it did this whole, well, at first it shot down. Then when the 2:30 news came up, it shot all the way back up. I don't know if it was this candlestick, but it was one of these candlesticks, and it literally spiked down. Actually, let's go to 15. We'll be able to see it on the 15. It was one of these candlesticks. I was just looking at it the other day. Which one was it? I should have had it marked off. But y'all that was trading or even looking at the charts, y'all know what I'm talking about. It also caused this madness here. It was a huge mess. So some people that were in on the right side made some money, like we did, and other people could have lost some money. So we're going to be careful with the news today, see exactly what's going on, and wait for it to start/end, depending on some of those pairs before we enter. So looking at the news, well, this is Forex Factory. I only really pay attention to the red folder news, and we can see today that we have a lot of stuff going on as well as tomorrow. But next week, it'll be a little bit more clear, as we can see next week. So Monday, really nothing going on. Tuesday, only a little bit. Wednesday, pretty clear. Thursday, looks good. Friday looks good. So next week should be back to normal. Then, that's the last week before the new quarter starts. So got to keep that in mind as well. But as for today, right now, coming up in an hour, we got the CHF red folders. Then at 7 o'clock, we got GBP red folders, NPC official bank rate news, monetary policy summary, and official bank rate. And then all day, it's a bank holiday for the Japanese yen. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens today. But as of now, I'm just looking at the charts, looking for some possible setups. Kind of like how oil's looking right now. Not gonna lie, kind of like how oil's looking. I was looking at oil yesterday, but it was just a rangy day yesterday. There was a lot of ranging and consolidation until news came, and then after that, things kind of went back to normal. But we still were able to catch some pips. Stayed away from the futures yesterday. Give me 1 second. Hey, you're always first. What's going on, Thuggin? So we stayed away from the futures yesterday, just to be on the safe side, because again, there was a lot of ranging going on, as we can see. Just looking at, let's go on some other time frames so you see what I'm talking about. But it was a lot of ranging, as we can see yesterday, literally just bouncing. And I don't like to trade in ranges. So I like to trade when there's volume in the market. because that's how you make money. You don't really make money off ranging markets. You make money when there's volume and it's going in a sure direction. So speaking of that, I like how SPX is looking to drop down to the bottom of the zone. We can see on the bigger time frames. Drop down. Now we'll have to correct this at some point, so I have to keep an eye on that. But while it's under the zone, we can possibly take advantage once volume picks up, because we see overall we're in a downtrend right here. Had a huge drop from the news, and now we're underneath this level, underneath the zone. So if price continues to respect this as a resistance level like it has so far, I would like to look for sales. But depending on if it wants to push back up or not, I will stay out. But of course, these are indices, so it's going to be a lot of pips whether or not we enter regardless, and it does go down. So it is up to you, and me included, because I do take these trades with y'all, to secure our profits. A good example of that is GJ yesterday. So we'll call GJ out. I called it on my live. Well, I didn't call it out on my live stream, but I called the trade idea out on my live stream. I entered it later on after I waited, because again, we see all this ranging. We're actually in drawdown all day, stuck in this range. But after the news came out, it finally broke through all that traffic. And you see it finally dropped down. And we caught a huge amount of pips on GJ yesterday. We caught 72 pips, and that was even the max. But again, that was 72 pips when we were like right here. But after the market reopened after 5 o'clock, it went all the way down here, and then it wicked out after it hit a level of price, and now it's back at the top of the zone. So I'm going to be waiting to see whether we can re-enter for sales or if it's going to flip to the top side, because again, it is a Japanese bank holiday, so it's not going to be a lot of volume for the yen. So the GJ most likely will take over, which is probably what caused this spike right here. Yeah, so I'm just going to wait till London session, but I do like how oil is looking. It is breaking down. It just broke past these levels. So depending on what the next candlestick looks like, I like to look for a retracement candle, then hop on that retest, and then possibly enter for sales. Same thing with SPX. It's doing the same thing as oil. So depending on what the next couple of candlesticks look like, you might enter, try to catch some pips. But again, it is interesting end of the week, so it could possibly, after his couple TPs, retrace harshly. So do not just let your screen go from blue to red if we do enter. But I'm going to wait for the next candlestick. I do like how it's looking, not going to lie to y'all. Let's see, I like how US30 is looking too. So we got a lot of potential setups depending on what these next candlesticks look like. Because I had this US30 trade idea yesterday, as you can see here. But if y'all watched the live stream from yesterday, if you didn't, check it out after this live stream. But we literally saw on the live stream how we're about to enter. I said I wanted to wait for the next candlestick, and then sure enough, the next candlestick shot it up, and that's when it brought up to here. So if we would have entered just jumping into it instead of patiently waiting for multiple confirmations, we would have lost quite a few pips, because we would have entered here. So the stop loss was here. So 12,677 minus 12.5. Let me just pull the calculator for y'all. Let's just do that, so I can see the math for yourself. All right. So let's do this real quick. So 12,676. Let's just say 12,676 minus, if the entry would have literally been right here. So let's just say 12,560. So you add 2 zeros to it, because unless you're trading on funded accounts, you have to add 2 zeros to do the math. So that would literally been 11,600 pips we would have lost, which would have been $116 off of 0.01. So that's why you always got to be patient, especially when you're taking bigger trades like this, before you want to risk your money and enter the markets. But again, This is a good looking setup. I'd probably put it right above this wall right here. Just give it a little bit of wiggle room. I'll probably put it right here. So if it goes range to range, zone to zone, it would be a good 1 to 2, almost 1 to 3 risk to reward, which is pretty standard for us. Oil's still pushing down. So we got 1 minute to the next candlestick. So we're going to see what that candlestick does. And then determine our move from there. And here's the next candlestick. Yeah, I like how these are looking. Let's see what it does. So it's possibly going to be the retest candle. SPX looks like it's still trying to push down. Sure looks like it's still trying to push down. Where's US30 at? US30, that's what I'm concerned about. The US30 is right here at this zone. So it could potentially reject like it did right here once it hits this zone. So I want to be cautious of that and keep that in mind as well. So I was trying to figure out what's going to do right now. So I'm going to look for other trade ideas. AD New Zealand, looks like we missed this trade. And by missed it, I mean it started happening literally before I even woke up. So it is what it is. It could possibly retest, maybe. But for now, I'm just going to leave it alone because it's already in the middle of the zone ranging. So it is too late to try to enter that one, in my opinion. So the SPX is still pushing. Trade 30 is still trying to push. This gap got filled up. Oh, it's dropping. Yeah, so I like how these are looking. I want a retest candle though. I'm pretty sure it'll retest. Let's see. I also want to get a good entry, but I like how these are looking. It's dropping. Let me see how it acts when it hits this level right here. Let me see how it acts when it hits this level right here. And depending on how it acts when it hits there, may or may not enter. SPX is already about to hit that level here. It already is on it. So let me see. Because I already know it's gonna retest, but I also don't want to miss a possible dump. So I will take a little drawdown for the retest if this candle wants to dump. It's, as we can see, it's doing what I wanted to see it do. Same with SPX, oil. So that's fine. And it's probably retesting just like this level here. Yeah. So really retesting, so I'm gonna leave them, let them do that. Try to see if there's any other trade possibilities. And this one pushed pretty far. Charge it right here. Could trace right here. Could put it here. Have it right here. Yeah, it already did the retest. It's probably gonna try to dump again. Let me just put it on right here. Comes back up to there. I might try to look at it and pay attention. But if it stays doing what it's doing, I'm just gonna leave it be. 80 JPY. The drop down here, reject is pushing back up. So I want to see what I might do. It's still respecting this level right here though. But let's go back to here, see what's going on. Yep. It's retesting, just like I wanted to see it do. SPX kind of doing it, but US30 is definitely doing it. Oil's doing a retest. Yeah. So I'm just gonna wait and see what these decide to do. But I am liking how these are looking for sure. So maybe the next candlestick, we'll see what happens. I'm in no rush to hop in that trade. Yeah, but I can already tell. Well, let me not say nothing yet, but it looks like it's going to be another slow day like yesterday. But that is fine. That's the reality of trading. And that's what's so important about having good strategy, because even on slow days, if you go on a chart, you're guaranteed to find a trade idea and trading opportunity, because the strategy that I use works on literally any currency pair, any future indice, metals, etc. So it does come in handy for slow days, because all I gotta do is just scan charts, and most likely I'm gonna find something I can trade or something I like. So AUD CHF's just been dumping. CHF's been dumping all week. We've been catching CHF sales every now and then. We missed a couple opportunities, but for the past couple of days and weeks, AUD CHF, well, not AUD CHF, but CHF in general, has just had a lot of volume in it, and it's been causing everything to dump. So I want to see how it reacts off of this zone right here. And we can see it's already trying to do something, but I want to see how it reacts off there. It's already dumped pretty much a lot today, but looking at the daily time frame, it's kind of a normal thing. But the best entry would have been right here at the top of the zone, but that most likely happened. The move most likely happened when I don't trade. So I kind of missed that, but it is what it is. That's just another example of what I tell my members all the time. I just trade during London, New York, but literally there's opportunities. As long as the market's open, you're guaranteed to be able to find a pair where you can make some money. I just don't trade during those times. I only trade during London, New York. Now I'll hold a trade during like Asia and stuff, but personally entering trades, I only do that during London and New York session. But like we saw earlier with one of the New Zealand pairs, I missed the opportunity there. I missed the opportunity with the AUD-CHF. So there's literally opportunities everywhere. You just have to know what you're looking for and be on the charts at the right time. So New Zealand JPY, it dropped when all the JPY pairs had a lot of volume, which ain't surprising because today is apparently a big holiday for them. So a lot of volume pumping the day before. Now it's right back here. So possibly looking for New Zealand JPY buys, which would be interesting. But everything is doing the retest before London session. So let's see if we see a classic as soon as London session starts, classic volume pump, or it's just going to be a slow day like yesterday. Because as you can see, a bunch of ranging here, before this crazy action, then the drop. Then we have this huge spike like we saw on GJ, which was caused by the JPY. But if volume stays on this side and the New Zealand is still stronger than the Japanese yen, which it should be, could look for possible buy setups like this right here. Now let's look at SPX, just to keep an eye on it. Still right here, still stuck at this level, which isn't surprising. US30 still bouncing right here, still in a decent position. But honestly, don't want to really enter anything until I see US30 jump past this level of price. that'll definitely, then we'll be able to potentially get in the US30 sell and also confirm that those other pairs will be dumping most likely. But there is a lot of ranging and traffic right here. So this would be interesting to see what it does trying to break these levels. I don't even want to put it that far. I just want to put it here just to be safe. Yeah, I like to see that right there. But as you can see, it's stuck on this level right here. And what I want to see it do, it's going to do two things. Most likely, because again, this is a very sensitive spot. We see the wick here from the 14th of July. We see the wicks here from this zone right here. So we know it's most likely going to do two things. It's either going to, what's going to most likely do three things. So you're going to hit the zone again, come up here, fill this up, then drop again, or it's going to start the uptrend here. So it's going to come here and it's going to continue to come up. This is thinking of like days in advance, of course, but it's either going to do that, or like I said, the first time it's going to hit here, then continue the downtrend, or it is going to break under and then continue the downtrend. Probably hit right here, then shoot back up, or it could hit the middle of the zone, then shoot back up. But this is a sensitive area for US30. This is a very important zone to pay attention to. We see a lot of traffic here. We see a huge rejection wick here. We see rejection wick here. So literally just keep on looking to the left. You see multiple times on the daily time frame where at this level of price, reactions and harsh movements happened. So you got to keep that in mind and put that into account before you even enter a trade. So SPX is finally doing the retest, which is good. Literally 4 minutes before London starts. So let's see what happens. Oil's doing a retest as well. Don't like where gold's at. I'm going to leave gold alone. Silver literally been just stuck on this zone since really like 12, 13, so like for a few days now. And we can see on the smaller time frame, I literally will just range here, I'll come back up, shoot up a little, like it's just respecting this yellow line right here. It hasn't really broken past this up this one day, which was, I think it was like post news from yesterday, then it immediately came back down and now it's ranging again, all right here. So yeah, you could possibly catch some quick pips on here, but I like to go for a full move. I like to go for moves like this one and things like that. I like to go zone to zone if possible. I don't want to just catch a couple pips. So I don't mind patiently waiting for the perfect opportunity to enter, because we're still up for the week. Even with the slow day yesterday, we're still up. All trades entered yesterday hit TPs. Only one didn't hit every TP, which was AUD CAD. It only hit the second TP, but every other trade we entered hit every TP that I put in the day 5-0. And then I think yesterday we ended the day, I forgot where we ended the day yesterday. I'll have to check that. But I think we won all trades yesterday, or maybe lost one yesterday. But it's still been a positive week. Still hitting the daily goals, which is most important. All right, so we got 2 minutes until London session starts. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to look at some other pairs while we're at it. So while we're paying attention to the futures, this one just ripped past this level during this 15-minute candlestick. So let's see what's going on here. So I was just talking about the CHF just dumping, well, making everything dump, because the reason why New Zealand CHF is dumping is because the CHF is stronger than the New Zealand right now. But it's literally just been dumping. All currency pairs paired with it. all week for the past couple of weeks. So this is looking good. It pushed under, it broke under. So it's too late to enter now. So when the next candlestick comes up, what I'd like to see is a retest. I'm trying to see if there's any level of price I can reference. I don't see. Oh, there we go. 3 o'clock. I don't see anything though. It's kind of annoying. So I like to base my TPs off past. But it's already a green candle retesting. So we're just gonna have to work out what we can see right here. So if it continues to dump, oh well, we lost it. We lost the opportunity, is what it is. But I want to see it if it's gonna retest. But let's pay attention to these because these are more important, more pips. All right, so yeah, I like what it's doing here. I like what it's doing here. My only concern is when it hits here, will it reject harshly? But even so, like I mentioned earlier, if it does reject, do not let your screen go red. But I am liking how this is looking. Oil's doing the same thing. Okay. Yeah, I like how these are looking right here. SPX is still rejecting that. I like how oil's looking. Oil broke past that, which is rejecting too. But just hit this level, which is a good sign. Let me see what gold's doing. The only thing, gold and oil have been acting weird this week, but usually when gold is going down, oil goes up and vice versa. Same thing with the futures and indices. But they've been acting a little weird this week, most likely because of all the news going on. Let's see here. So I am determining. I just did the retest there, which is fine. Just doing the retest here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and enter them. We're going to catch a few pips here for sure. We're going to catch a couple hundred pips for sure if we enter. So let me go ahead and put these signals out. Because I kind of like how these are looking. Kind of like how these are looking. Main concern is US30 though, but like I just mentioned, yeah, I like how these are looking. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and enter. Yeah, I'm entering oil, and I'm entering oil. So I entered oil. So I'm in that one. For oil, SL is going to be, and be careful with the spread because the spread's kind of large for oil, but SL would probably be, let me say, 85, 85, 45, 85, 45. Yeah, we can do that. And then, still hasn't broken this though. I want to see if it breaks that. But I'm in oil though. So let me go ahead and call this signal out. See what it does. But on my MT4 though, so look, do pay attention to your MT4 because on my MT4, my broker oil's count and spread's a little different. So I'm about to calculate that right now. But I did enter oil, Um, Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure, so I don't want to put two random numbers. 8270. Okay, this is looking pretty accurate. So let me just confirm something real quick. Yeah, so I'm in this. Okay, so let me put that in. It's rejecting on this. SPX is doing another. Yeah, they're still retesting. What's gold doing? Gold's dumping, of course. That's what I was doing. I don't care. I'm still in this though. So let me put the. I'm putting the SL and stuff in there. I'm about to put the TPs in. Give me 1 second. 5, 40, 55, 40. Again, always use proper risk. You don't need to over leverage or bank everything on one trade. It's still early into the day. Um, let's do this. Just trying to determine the TPs right now. I want to see her break these lows here. That'd be that'd be nice. Let's doing a retest. Everything's retesting right now. It's dumping. Let's see what it does. It's pushing up a retesting right now. Yep, there it goes dropping. So the first targets are going to be to break this levels right here, which would be about a 1-to-1 trade. So let's look at these other pairs. Trade 30 looks like it's about to try again. SPX. So I like how these are looking. I'm still patiently waiting because as you can see, it's kind of struggling to break this. So if this passes this wick, I might consider entering, and then if this comes back down to here and breaks under, I might consider entering. But as of now, I am in oil, and we're just going to hold and see what it does. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to hold and see what it does. New Zealand JPY looks like it's doing what I was talking about. I wanted to see it do too. So this is looking real nice. So we had the 3 o'clock 15-minute after the retest push up. Now it's under this wall right here. But if we can break that wall, this is looking like a good looking like a good buy. So it's definitely got my attention. I can say that it's definitely got my attention. So let's see here. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at this. See what we got going on. It's pushing up. About to fill this up. Yeah, so if it comes here, yeah, so it's pushing. I like how this is looking. It might, of course, retrace and retest after it hits this wall, but that is still plenty of pips that we can catch. So I kind of like how this is looking. So this is definitely on my radar. Oil struggling to break that level, which is fine. Let me fix the TPs though, because I kind of messed up. Our checkpoints are going to be 10 pip intervals because that's how they've been ranging a lot. So it's a lot of support resistance areas from a smaller time frame we have to take into account. So let's see here. I mean, TP1 just got hit actually, but it just retraced on us. At least on my broker, it just got hit. And it's pushing down, so that's a good sign right there. I like to see that. These are still playing around, so it's kind of good that we didn't enter those. But oil is pushing, and it actually hit TP1. Like I said, like my broker is a little bit off from this, so it's saying, well, if we look right here, you can kind of probably see it. They can't even see it on here. So right here it's saying 8270, but on my thing, it hit 65. So like my broker's like 10, 10-ish, 10 5-ish pips off from here, which is why I wanted to double check it. But it is still pushing, which is good. And it's dumping. It hit TP1 again. Yeah, like how this is looking. So it's doing good. And by the way, when I go on my MT4, I'm looking at the TPs getting hit. I'm literally on the MT4 chart, and I'm going to where price is actually hitting. Because like I said, the spread is large on this, just like it's large on futures indice pairs. So I don't count where the spread's at. I count where price went. And as we can see, it's just dropping right now, which is crazy. So those that hopped in, y'all should be making some money right now. US30 is pushing up. So is SPX. So just another example why I like to wait. And there's always 15-minute intervals. I don't think you can see the time on this screen because you're on my second screen, but it is just 3:15 and it's pushing up now. Oil's struggling to break this, which is normal because, like I always say in my disclaimers, please use proper risk and do not over leverage. Every trade is not guaranteed to go all the way to the final TP or in our favor at all. When a TP gets hit, it's either going to do one of three things. It's either going to reject, like we see these rejection wicks here, or it's going to play around to this level of price, like we see right here, or it is going to continue, it's going to push through and continue to break down to the downside in this case, or if it was a buy, the upside. So speaking of new 15-minute candle, let's see what New Zealand JPY is doing. So it's now stacking this level of price, so we could have entered there, but I wanted to focus on US oil. So it's kind of a little high. It could retrace a little bit on us. Let's see. So it comes down to here, 20 extra pips, but it could continue to push up. I'm liking how it's looking. I'm tempted to enter this. That's just 20 pips. All you have to do is either dug it out or adjust your lot size accordingly. Yeah, I like how that's looking. Now, I literally just called that out. Literally, like, then I went back to oil. And I like how that's looking. So I just entered. Like I said, I'll take the extra drawdown if it decides to retest. But I just entered New Zealand JPY, and it is pushing. So let me go ahead and put the signal out. So SL would be flat. So entering from right here, it'd be a 1-to-1 risk reward if it goes all the way. But I want to see it break this wall here first. So this will be about 15-20 pips. I'd like to see it come to here, but better take it step by step. It's already pushing. Dang, so y'all entered with me. Y'all should be blue already. I don't even want to call it unless it retraces because it'd be because people enter right now. That'd be deep in drawdown if it does retrace after hitting this wall. But even if it retraces, I want to see it at least stick to this level of price and then push back up. But I did enter this, but I'm not going to call this out unless it retraces because I would hate for it to literally hit right here and then just shoot down on everyone. But I'm personally in this Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's going to retest. So I'm gonna go back to that, but I just entered. It's fine. I'm not worried about that drawdown. Now we got oil pushing. Once they break this wick, it's attempting to as we speak. Let me just see what SPX is doing. SPX is shooting up, just shooting up, which is good for us because since they're shooting up, that means we're making money on oil. Yep, so y'all screens should be blue. I want to see a break here. Almost did. But yes, but since US30 and them are pushing, that's a good sign for us because that's going to make oil want to push down more. But it's still early into London. And as you can see, it's attempting to break this level of price right here, which is right here. So if it breaks it, I want to see continue to the downside. So that's what we're looking at right now. But as you can see, once this is shooting down again, that's causing oil to coincidentally reject a little bit. So that's one thing to keep in mind when trading these pairs is most of the time they go in opposite directions. This one likes to really stick with the goals behavior, but I'm still holding that trade to see what it does. Let's go back to New Zealand JPY. It's attempting to push still. Yeah, but I don't really see. Okay. So we got GBP New Zealand. This is a very sensitive range. We see a lot of rejections here. We see a lot of support levels here. We see the past 2 days, it rejected. So, and we see it's at this level right now. So we need to pay attention and see what it does because it can very much reject again. It would go for sales like it did yesterday. Actually, no, I didn't call this one out. I called the Euro New Zealand one out. I was looking at the GBP New Zealand one. So we could go for sales like the ideal was yesterday. Or if it breaks above, we'll determine what to do from there. You said what broker are you currently using for minus So the broker I'm using is the one linked in the free signal room. Did I put it into there? This Eaglefx is also linked in the live stream description. That's the broker I use. So it's in the free signal room and it's in the live stream description. That is the broker I use. And yeah, so like I said, every broker is different. That's why I want to double check on my broker because obviously my TPs and stuff are going to be based off, the broker I'm using. So that's why I notify y'all when my things get hit to let y'all know that it got hit on my end. But that's why I put those on. I put my broker in there in the free signal room because even with funded accounts, usually with it's usually with like the futures and currency, the futures and indices, but it's a little bit different, a little bit off. But every broker is going to be a little bit off, just like how TradingView is going to be a little bit off from your broker sometimes and things like that. So yeah, that's the broker I use. So you can click the link either in the YouTube description or in the free signal room. But that's the broker I use, and it hit the first TP for me, and then it's rejecting up as we see now. So I want to see if it's going to retest and continue to break down. That would be nice to see. Oh, US30 shooting up too. And SPX. It's very interesting. But I want to see if it's going to retest, continue to push down. But let me see here. So we see the past two 15-minute candlesticks. It's been rejecting off this level right here, which is good. We see it's rejecting right now. So what I want to do is literally in the next 5 minutes, see what that candlestick's doing, what that candlestick is looking like, and then we'll go step by step and determine what we're going to do from there. Because it could be sales again. Because it could go for sales again. Could very much be sales. Because again, it hasn't been above this level since really the beginning of this month. Well, no, not beginning of this month, August, beginning of August. So a whole month from now, a whole month ago. Hasn't been up here since then. Ever since then, it shot down, came back up here, it was ranging in these two levels, came back up here again, pushed up. So this could be a potential uptrend we're looking at here. But as of now, it is still struggling to break above this level. Because even here, we have a similar move to this, just like kind of looks like this. Then shot up here, rejected a few times till it finally broke up. But this was a huge candlestick. It took a huge candlestick for it to even break above here. And then very soon, 3 days later, it shot back down. And we can see right now, even on the daily candlestick, how it's rejecting. So we're just going to see what it looks like in the next candlesticks coming up. And that's what we're looking at there. JPY is still pushing. GJ doing the same thing. Just like we were talking about, because the Japanese yen holiday. And this is actually in a better position to potentially enter compared to New Zealand JPY. So let me see if it will be. Because isn't there something going on with GBP today? Let me see. So I remember seeing something. That's at 7 a.m. So we got a few hours before that happens. Interesting. Let me move this out the way. Interesting. We got 2 minutes to the next 15-minute candlestick, so we're going to wait 2 minutes to see what it does. But it's on top of this level of price, and we look at New Zealand JPY, it looks very similar, this structure-wise, to this structure right here, all the balancing consolidation, and the ranging. But since that JPY is going up, Euro JPY here is going up. I wonder if I'm just looking at the other JPY pairs to see what they're doing. They all are shooting up, but GJ isn't the best entry opportunity for us. So that's the only one we're going to be looking at right now. So this is the buy idea. I'm not into this yet. I'm going to wait for the next candlestick to see if I'm going to enter it. This will be a lot of 1 to 3 weeks to the board. I'm going to put it right here, underneath this wall right here, and then underneath this wall right here, which will give price plenty of wiggle room to do its thing. US30 shooting up. US30 shooting up. Everything's shooting up. This is still underneath this lower price, which is a good sign. So I would like to see it shoot back down to here. Boom, boom, boom. Then continue down. But we will see. But it's still early. Just 30 minutes in. And I know a couple of y'all, I know you're saying that it didn't get hit on your thing. So just hold to SL or TP gets hit like always. Just like I said yesterday in the thing. Because again, yesterday was really slow. Yesterday was really slow. And TPs didn't really start getting hit. But we had a few TPs get hit, in the morning. But there was a couple TPs. TPs really didn't get hit until later into New York, and that's when things really started getting started. But as you can see off this, well, let me click here, off the signal, I called this out at 4:37 a.m. and it was price was literally just ranging all London session, and it didn't really start moving into New York. So that happens sometimes. So always just go with your analysis. Always hold to SL or TP gets hit. Never just close because you're in drawdown for a while and you're thinking it's taking too long to do something. Because I've been there. I know I can't be the only one where I closed a trade early because I was impatient or because I was in drawdown for too long. And literally, as soon as I closed the trade, the next candlestick, it decides to do what I knew it was going to do. So that's why I always recommend. Yes, I like how this is looking too. Let me see. So on top of this level of price, which is good, underneath this wall right here is kind of in the sandwich. But first checkpoint, well, not the first checkpoint, but first main target will be right here, which would be a good amount of pips. US oil, everything's shooting up right now, which is but it's still under the zone, which is the main thing. Let's see. Let's go back to GJ. This is a potential good setup right here. But I believe today it's going to be another. There's a lot of stuff going on these next couple of days. So as far as trading is going, volume's not looking the best on a lot of pairs. And there's a lot of stuff coming up. So most likely I won't be entering a lot of stuff until maybe New York session. I'm looking to see if there's any setups for London, but most of them, if anything, I probably won't be jumping into anything until pre-New York or New York in general. So we're under this wall right here, which is a good sign. Still stacking on the price, still pushing. Yeah, so I'm gonna call this one out. Yeah, so I entered this one. SL would be, let me just say 162.55 going out. And we got the first TP right here. Because it really hit this wall. And I wouldn't be surprised after it hits this wall, it's going to reject a little bit for a retest. 64.05. Damn, so it's already, okay, that was going to be the first TP. So that's all right. And this actually is a perfect example because I know people hit me up all the time and they're like, hey, they hit me up about two different things. They're like, hey, the TP was a little off from my, or not the TP. They're like, hey, my entry is a little off from yours, or why is the first TP so close? Things like that. It's literally because I'm determining the entries and putting the stuff in, and literally I was about to send this out and the first TP just got hit. So it's like, dang. So then it's like, okay, so let me put the next TP in. But yeah, it's just pushing right now. So those that are on the live stream, if you're not blue yet, you should be close to blue. But I'm just gonna put. That's really annoying. So I hate when that happens. But it is what it is. It could very much retrace. But yeah, really just hit the first TP that I was looking at. Wow. Yeah, that's just shooting. I'm just about to send this in and then just put in parentheses called on live stream. Because it literally just hit TP2 too. It's very annoying. Well, not annoying for me and whoever entered with me, but annoying because I wanted to send the signal out. And literally the time it took for me to begin to type this, it shot up 15 pips. But it's retracing a little bit. Here in New Zealand, they're probably just shooting up too. US oil, playing around. NAS, sure. SPX. Okay, it retraced a little bit like I thought. So I'm about to call this signal out. No, I just put that in. Yeah, I wanted to wait for it to retrace a little bit because I knew it was going to retrace a little bit, but also wanted to call the signal out still because I do believe in the long run we can still catch some pips before um, the news comes out. So again, keep in mind there's GBP news going on at 7. There's a lot of news going on, a lot of red folder today and tomorrow. And if you're in a trade before the news, unless you're just confident the spike, if there's going to be a spike, it's going to go your way. But there's not a spike, there's always manipulation going on. So unless you're confident that whatever you're in, a buy or sell, the news is going to help push it that way, I would get out of that an hour, 30 minutes latest before the news, because when the news comes on, literally on the dot, as we saw yesterday, when we saw the CPI of last week or 2 weeks ago, even when we saw the NFP stuff, like the spikes are real and they're dangerous if you're on the wrong side of it. That's for sure. So those that enter on the live stream should be up almost. You should be up like 15 pips right now. Those that got in on the signal room, they're up about 5 pips. I'm gonna keep an eye on this one because I'm looking at all that stuff. It's not really piquing my interest. I'm probably gonna stay away from this stuff until US30 decides to make a move. But your 30, it's just repeating what it did yesterday morning. That's what it seems like, at least. SPX is still under the zone, playing around. Leaving that alone. Oil's looking just like SPX, which is very weird because they usually don't move together. That's why I said today, this is a weird week for oil because usually does not correlate with the currency pairs, especially at least when I'm looking at them, looking for entries. They usually move opposite directions. So what I want to see is in the next 15-minute candlestick, the next 5 minutes, if it's going to continue to stack on top of this level of price and continue to push up. Because as you can see, it's rejecting down. So I'm going to see what's going to the next candlestick. But that was a quick, almost 20 pips in about, like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, which is not bad at all. It's been rejected all the way down. Just like I was talking about, hit that wall, reject all the way down. So people can still enter this if they didn't get the chance to. But with this strategy, there's a lot of different things you can do. And I go over that with the members in the Zoom calls and stuff so they know, especially with all the different TPs and the way the TPs work. I get questions all the time about how do you operate? Do you do multiple entries? Do you do partials when the TP gets hit, this, that, and the third? There are multiple ways you can go about it. And there's multiple ways I go about it too, especially because I can just look at the charts and I see what's going on and I understand how candles work and things like that. So, like I always tell y'all, you cannot go wrong when the TP gets hit and you pull out. I might put down 3 TPs, I might put down 5 TPs. You do not have to hold to every TP, especially if you don't know that it's going to hit every TP. What you do know is that you were up X amount of pips. Speaking about X amount of pips, TP1 just got hit again, so I'm about to announce that to the signal room. For those that got in late, TP1 got hit again. But this is the second time TP1 got hit. So this is a prime example of that. With this strategy, there are a lot of rejections going on. So essentially, you can use the strategy to scalp this way, where during the lower retracements, when it's getting whipped down, you collect that, then possibly look for a new re-entry, things like that. Or if you're really confident in the trade, you can hold it and go for the bigger move, or in that re-entry, hold it for the bigger move, whatever the case may be. But I don't recommend doing that until you truly understand what you're looking at. You have the zones marked off, this, that, and the third. Now, if you do not know how to read candlesticks, I have a video on my YouTube channel literally titled How to Read Candlesticks. Watch that video. Watch it once, watch it twice, save it, take notes. That video is going to help you guys out tremendously. TP2 just got hit. So GJ's pushing good. Zealand JPY is pushing. for those that entered. I didn't call this in the center room because, again, it was too late, in my opinion, to call it, because after it did that push, when I was looking at the futures and oil, it continued to stack on top of this level of price like we see right now. So that being said, it could potentially, once it hits these levels, reject all the way back down to the zone. And that's the last thing I would want, because again, you want the best entry possible, closest to the zone. That way you have the least amount of drawdown and the greatest possible risk to reward for that trade. You get what I'm saying? So there's no reason to try to chase trades, things like that, especially with this strategy, because you just have to simply go into another chart and look for an opportunity. And you'll find one 9 times out of 10. Well, let me not say 9 times out of 10. 8, 7 times out of 10, you will find another opportunity on the charts. So there's no reason to feel pressured to enter a trade that already started or enter a move that already started. Just like I said, stacking on price, it's doing what I want to see it do, but it's still early into this candlestick. We're just 1 minute into this new candlestick. So we're just going to have to observe like always, because I do not have a crystal ball in my lap. I am not a fortune teller. All I can do is read the charts and the candles to the best of my ability and determine from there what is most likely going to happen. Key word is most likely. Okay? That's what the stop loss is for. If I am wrong on my trade decision and analysis, if price hits this level, I am going to pull out, because if it hits here, I was most likely wrong. That's what the stop loss is for. The risk to reward is to show you and determine if the trade's even worth entering, for one, and two, to know what you're going to be making versus what you're risking. So this is a 1 to 3 risk to reward. So let's say I'm risking $5 on this trade. If my stop loss gets hit, oh shit, I lost $5. If all the TPs get hit, I made 15. You get what I'm saying? So that is, and we just missed TP3 by literally 0.03. I don't even know if that's how you say it. 0.03 of a pip, because I'm not thinking hit 164.24.7, and the TP is 164.25. So let's see, it's trying to do another push attempt. So let's see if we can hit that TP. But again, this is a good example I talk about with my members, like I was saying before. It went up 20 pips and retraced, then it shot up again. Now again, I don't recommend doing that unless you know what you're doing. But again, before you even do that, even if you think you know what you're doing, what I always tell my members is to practice on a demo account. There are no cons with trading on a demo account. Man, I saw this video the other day talking about how paper trading and trading on a demo account is a scam. I was like, no, you are the scam. What is a scam about trading on a demo account? Literally, any money you lose, you didn't lose. Any trades you lose, you didn't lose. You just gain experience. And then literally anything you do on a demo account, you just switch your account to the live account and do the same thing you did on the demo, and you'll make the same amount of money, catch the same amount of pips, etc., etc. There's literally no cons to trading on a demo account unless you don't treat it like you would treat a live account, which is another story and conversation. So these pairs are doing good. I was looking at AUDJPY, but it is not where I'd like it to be level-wise. I could possibly look for one here, but it is in the middle of the zone. So with things like this, I just observe them, take mental notes and real notes to be like, okay, in the future, I do mental trades too. Or again, like I said, you can do a trade on the demo account and see how it does. But I do mental trades. I'm like, okay, let's see. I think this could work, but I'm not 100% sure because I've never done this consistently on a live account. So let me go on a demo and see how it turns out. And if it goes my way, Maybe try it a couple more times before I try it on a live account. But that's what I do. I used to experiment on my live account, but I don't do that anymore. I want to make money on my live account and definitely not ruin my progress and profits by making silly mistakes. You get what I'm saying? But we're 5 pips away from TP3, not TP3, TP4, and the first mini checkpoint, which will be right here. Things are looking good right there. Give me 1 second. Yeah, but again, I'm not. Sometimes I look for multiple trades to enter, but as of now, I'm just chilling because I do not like how most of these charts are looking. And I don't like what oil's doing. That's for sure too. I don't like what oil's doing, any other stuff. So, like I said before, the trend could very much be changing. But before I assume that, I want to see them. I want to see the market show me that. Because who am I to assume? Again, I don't control these markets. Who am I to assume what the markets are going to do before they do it? But I do know TP4 just got hit with GJ. We are making some money this morning. That is what I do know. We're up almost 40 pips on GJ in less than an hour. In less than an hour, y'all. Pushing 40 pips in less than an hour. Whoops. What did I just do? There we go. I don't know what just happened, but there we go. So things are looking good on the GJ end. Again, I'm still paying attention to the other charts, but they're all doing their own thing. So I'm most likely going to wait till after that news or New York session to possibly look for some more entries. But I know GJ, the GBP pairs, the Euro pairs, they like to move during this time. So that's why I was taking a look. And sometimes we can get some quick pips on futures and indices, but as of now, no. Damn, Euro AUD is looking like maybe another sell because we caught the Euro AUD sell. It's either yesterday or 2 days ago. So I'm going to see what this next candlestick here looks like and see if we can enter this. My bad, y'all. Man, I was talking. I was spitting too. Um, I'm glad I looked down and I saw. My bad. I didn't know I muted myself. But what I was saying was, what was I saying? I was looking at what pair was I looking at? Was it Euro AED? Yeah. So with Euro AED, I was saying I'm gonna wait for the next candlestick, which is in 5 minutes, to see what it's looking like. But it looks like we could potentially catch some more sales off your AED because we hit a retest here of the zone level. And this is literally the same entry, same trade idea as the trade we entered the other day. So we're gonna wait for next candlestick to see what it does. It's doing a retest off this wall. Once you do a nice retest, maybe to here, then possibly enter. Or if it breaks through here, I'll enter, even though it might, retrace. But that's what I'm looking at right there. But then I was looking at AED CAD. What I was saying was the members know because this was a call. This was a signal. I called this out on the live stream, but this trade was specifically sent out to the members only. And I told them TP2 got hit during the spike, and when it shot back up, I got wicked out. But if y'all are still holding, y'all should be in profit now. And I was saying this is a good example of holding till SL gets hit or TP, because again, I have multiple TPs. I explain how they work, but depending on the broker, like for oil, for example, or people just didn't close because they thought it was going to keep going, you could get stuck in drawdown. So people will hit me up saying, hey, are you still holding this trade? Are you still holding this trade? It looks like it's going up, things like that. And I'll say, hold to SL or TP. Always hold to SL or TP. And AD had a perfect example of that because it hit TP2 because of the news, right? Then it rejected harshly. Then it hit SL though. And then look what happened. I think I'm fucking my screen up. Hold on. I don't know what this. There we go. I don't know. I think I'm clicking something. I have like buttons inside of my mouse. I think I'm clicking them on accident, making things pop up. But anyways, this is just another prime example of what we see all the time. Holding to SL or TP just hit. Didn't hit SL, shot back down. Now y'all are back in profit to potentially even hit more TPs. More TPs than me. Again, keyword is potentially because it still has to break this level of traffic and this wall, which we can see here. It tested and tried, but it failed to do. Retrace back up, but it's underneath this level of traffic, which is good. So it could still potentially, if volume goes your way, push down. But again, you want to take things step by step, TP by TP. And if y'all are still holding, let that drawdown be even more motivation to close once you're blue again. Just like I was talking about. Did I say TP4 good? Let me see. Yeah. So 10 pips away from the last TP, which will bring us closely to the middle of the zone. My members know what the middle of the zone means. But yeah, we're doing good here. We're doing good here. Also, what I was saying while I was muted is, it's just a prime example. Like, never close a trade just because you're in drawdown for a little bit or it's taking longer than you would like. That's not how trading works. Okay, trading does not work that way. You do not control the markets. The markets are moved by what's going on in the world, going on in the country, certain news, specifically the red news, and things like that, and manipulation, of course, in these zones. So, and it also depends on the levels of traffic that they have to break. These aren't too bad, but AD CAD, this is when you see stuff like this, it's going to be very hard to break. Okay. GJ, not too hard to break. It's not a lot. This was hard to break. Like we see right here, when price came to here, I'm looking at this right here. Let me just move this up the way. When price came to this, look here, look at the line, look at the dotted line, look to the left. When it hit this wall here, let me just put I got y'all. Let me do this for you. When price hit here, hit this wall. When price hit here, it rejected, right? When price hit this wall, it rejected, right? But it rejected very harshly when it hit this wall. Because we look right here, this is a harsh rejection. This was a gradual rejection with the retest, multiple retests. Keep that in mind. This was a harsh rejection. because of this wall right here. Okay. We're going to go over more of that in the Zoom call tonight that I have with the members. But I just want to break that down because, again, all these candlesticks mean something. This candlestick means something. No matter how wonky and crazy it looks, this candlestick means something. Every candlestick means something. This candlestick means something. This candlestick means something. This one, this one, this one. They all mean something. They're all telling a story. They're all explaining a story. They're all telling what potentially may happen in the future. Things like that. Like I always say, you always want to look to the left. Everything's based off what happened to the left. Because again, we're not fortune tellers. You have to back test and understand what price did in the past and what it can potentially do in the future. You have to. It is mandatory. If you do not back test, you're literally gambling. NJ is in the middle of the zone. But again, let me say that again. If you're not back testing, you are gambling with your money. And people already think trading is gambling, and that's because most people are gambling. But what we do here, we do not gamble. We do not gamble. What we do is we're opportunists, and we strategically enter trades, and we strategically risk. We're not going all in. We're not rolling the dice, nothing like that. Everything we do is based off of probability. Y'all saw me do the analysis. Y'all saw me talk about and explain why I even entered the trade. And as you can see, it is pushing. I told y'all, Japanese yen, JPY have a holiday. So that's why we went for sales yesterday, not because of the holiday, but that's why it flipped on us, because the volume in the Japanese yen stopped because the banks are closed. The reason why we went for sales is because Japanese yen had a lot of volume yesterday and was stronger volume to the GBP. Today, that volume flipped on us because it's a bank holiday, not a lot of money going, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So with all that in mind, and also looking at the zones and reading the candlesticks, is why I entered this trade. It's very simple. There's no indicators. I have some lines on my screen. That's it. Everything else is strictly from back testing and being able to read market structure and being able to read candlesticks, which is the most important thing. If you do not know how to read candlesticks, trading is going to be very hard for you, and is most likely why a lot of people quit, a lot of people fail. Not most likely why, it's definitely why a lot of people quit, a lot of people fail, and why emotions be so high and tense in trading. Because if I don't know what the fuck's going on the chart, I'm going to be freaking out too when I'm in drawdown. That's normal. But again, hit this wall and we see the harsh rejection. Ooh, boy, that's a big rejection. That thing just shot down. That's crazy. That is crazy. What time is it? 4 o'clock? What the fuck just happened? That is crazy. Hope y'all had stop loss and profits, or if y'all didn't, that is bad. That's crazy right there. What made that happen? So we're seeing this live, y'all. What just made that happen? The bank conference should be over, right? That was a huge candlestick spike. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I had my SL up, but I didn't have it as high as I wanted it to. So I did lose a lot of those profits with y'all. I'm looking at the wrong day. Y'all don't know what made that happen. Let's go back to the chart and see what's going on. Okay, so it's shooting back up. So if anyone's still holding, It's up to y'all. Either you want to keep holding or close, but this candle is looking crazy. So if y'all didn't get wick in profit or have SL in profit, y'all can either wait to see what's going on, because SL did get hit, but it's shooting up right now, or y'all can hold on and see if it's going to shoot back up like it's doing right now. But that is a crazy spike. That is craziness. That is a crazy spike. Yeah, so if y'all didn't get whipped out, now's a chance to be on the safe side, because SL did get hit and it's pushing down. So I would suggest you can either hold it and see if it hits SL again, or wait and see what it's doing, because that is a huge spike. Let's see if NJ did that too. NJ did that too. Let's see if Euro JPY did that. Yep, that's crazy. The Japanese yen just spiked out of nowhere. But it looks like it's trying to push back up. But yeah, that was a crazy drop. It literally went straight to the SL though, which is the craziest part. Then you rejected off of it. So if it was a regular market, that would be a good thing. But that literally just spiked out of nowhere. That's craziness. Let's see what the other pairs are doing. You're still pushing up. That's just actually hilarious though, because I was just talking about the Japanese yen and explaining why we went into that. And it went our way. It went, well, let me go back on the 15. We're literally one TP away. Actually, no, it hit the last TP. As soon as it hit the last TP, it just rejected down, which is craziness. Like, it literally hit the last TP. The last TP was 164.45. Then it rejected down. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, that was a crazy spike, I'm not gonna lie. I'm still watching it though. Like I said, I literally had my SL at TP1. So luckily I didn't lose all that profit, but I did not expect it to spike down like that. That's craziness. But we're just gonna watch this for now, because there ain't nothing else going on in any other charts. So we're just gonna watch this and see what's gonna happen in real time. So hit the zone and rejected. So I wonder if it's gonna flip the script on this. That'd be very interesting. So it literally hit the SL and rejected, shot back up. Then hit the zone and rejected. So I wonder what's going to do this next 15-minute candlestick, which is very interesting. SPX still on top of this level. Oil doing that. Yeah, everything else, I don't really like where everything else is at. So your AED is right there. So I might keep paying attention to your AED, like I said before. But besides that, I don't really like, and maybe GBP AED too. But other than that, I don't really like how everything else is looking. So I'm gonna keep an eye on those and see what they do. But like I said before, for the most part, I am going to be waiting until after 7 a.m. my time. It's 4:10 a.m. EST my time. I'm going to be waiting after that and into New York to see and look for any other opportunities because, like I mentioned before in the beginning of the stream, there's a lot of red folder stuff going on. There's a lot of news going on. It's been a crazy week. And this is just another example of craziness. We see the retesting right here. Yeah, that's crazy. That's one of the first times, but it's happened before. But I'm talking about this spike. Okay, usually it'll do like a rejection like this, but it literally hit the final TP and the final target, and then just shot back down, which is craziness. Now, with the TPs, usually it will not do that. Okay, we obviously know, like just looking at the other 15-minute candlestick, we obviously know this isn't a normal candlestick. This was manipulation in real time. But like we saw earlier when TPs were getting hit, those slight rejections is what usually would happen. This one was just a crazy ass spike. That happens. But that's why I always talk about securing your profits. Again, from experience, I always have my thing in profit. Well, let me not say always because that's not true. But for the most part, I like to do that, especially during sketchy weeks. But sometimes I usually don't. I usually just watch the charts, and when it retraces, I'll close them. But today, if you usually do that, you would have got messed up because that thing just dumped out of nowhere. But let's look at what GA is doing. GA is looking decent. So the breaks past here, I'm gonna definitely be considering potentially sell setups for that. Just like Euro AUD is looking pretty decent as well. They pushed past that level already. So depending on this next 15-minute candlestick, well, it's going to be a whole nother sell setup. So let me put that there. Will determine if I want to enter this or not. But I am liking how this is looking. Yeah, so we saw a lot of interesting things this stream, which is good because trading, it's a new day every day, and there's always things to learn and new things to see. And I've seen spikes before, but that was just crazy. That caught me off guard, not gonna lie. But like I said before, everything else I don't really like what it's doing. I'm not going to be jumping into anything. Your AUD, GBP AUD are the two things I'm looking at right now. That even caused AUD CAD to spike up. So that caused AUD to spike. So there's an AUD spike. JPY spiked. What other currency pair spiked during this time? I think those are the only two pairs that spiked. Euro New Zealand is trying to do a drop. So maybe Euro New Zealand sell again. Okay, so Euro New Zealand, Euro AUD, GBP AUD, potentially. So I'm gonna look at these. I'm gonna keep an eye on these. But right now I'm trying to see what else spiked during that time. I don't really see anything else that really spiked just besides the JPY and the AUD. Oil still playing around. Jerk back there. US30. Euro USD. Let me see. Did anything else spike? Yeah, because I'm after the stream, I'm about to hop off and look. I'm definitely about to hop on the computer and try to see what made that happen. Because again, I only see the JP. Well, I only see the JP1 AUD that really spiked like that. Let me see if this AUD pair spiked too. Well, that's not the candlestick that did it. It was the previous 15-minute candlestick, so the 4 o'clock candle. Did this JPY pair do it too? Yeah. Interesting. So I can't even say the AUD spiked. Maybe it's the CAD that spiked? Well, not the CAD. The CAD's the second pair. I don't know. That's very interesting. I'm definitely going to try to see and look into what made that stuff do that. But it's a new 15-minute candlestick. We got pairs to look at. So let's look at those real quick. Euro New Zealand, doing the retest. Euro AUD, pushing to Euro AUD. Like how Euro AUD is looking. GP AUD, GP AUD, GP New Zealand. Like how these are looking. So I'm going to be paying attention to these pairs right here and seeing what they're doing. And decide if I want to enter them. But as far as gold, US30 NAS100, and all of that, I'm going to be waiting until New York session to see if I even want to hop in those. Yeah, GJ flipped the script on us, which is crazy. NJ did the same thing, which is craziness. But it is what it is. You can't control the markets, which is why you always got to risk the same amount every trade. That way, even if SO gets hit or something like that happens, you still didn't lose too much for the day or the week. And your profits from the week, days beforehand, and profits to come in the future will take out and cancel out that loss. But we see Euro New Zealand is doing a retest. Euro AUD is doing a retest right there. Let's see here. AUD. Yes, I like how these are looking. So I'm going to be paying attention to these pairs right here. But other than those pairs, I'm going to be chilling. I like how these look. I like how your AUD is looking. Oh, that's why I'm tripping. Okay. So I want to see a retest because it's a little too late to enter this one now. Yeah, I should have entered on the other thing. So good though. So I like how your New Zealand's looking. GPAD, New Zealand. Yep. So I'm gonna be paying attention to these. I'm gonna stop looking at everything else. So I'm about to put all right, so it's gonna be the end of this stream, y'all. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like. Again, check out the video on how to read candlesticks as well as my other videos on the channel. Free signal room, first link in the description as well. If you want to contact me, you can contact me either on my Telegram, which is in the description of this, the first link in the description of the signal room for the signal room, or my Instagram, playmaker_way. I am considering entering GA right now. I'm considering entering GA right now. I missed the EA opportunity. I'm looking at EN. I mean EN and then GA. That's what I'm looking at right now. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just watching the charts right now. But yeah, so be on the lookout potentially for ENGA signals, possibly GN, depending on the next candlesticks that come up. Yeah, it's starting to retrace, which is good. But other than that, these things still not piquing my interest. And I'm gonna see y'all in tomorrow's live stream. Then I'm gonna see the members in the Zoom call later tonight, and we're gonna go over, of course, the trades we take today, the trades from yesterday, as well as talk about some other interesting things. 1 second. Yeah, I'm about to go ahead and put these monitors, split the screens up, so I can pay attention to these 3 pairs and see if I want to make a move on them or not. All right, so like the video. See y'all next time.